Okay, good day viewers. Welcome back to your class on English grammar. So in our last class we started the topic basic simple sentence patterns. Basic simple sentence patterns, and then we talked about the fact that we have 9 basic simple sentence patterns according to this class, and then that's your SP, SPO, SPOO, SPC nominal, SPC adjectival, SPA, SPOC nominal, SPOC adjectival, and SPOA. And we were actually able to look at only patterns 1 to 3. That's the SP, the SPO, and the SPOO. So today we would be looking at the next pattern, which is SPC nominal. SPC nominal. So pattern 4, SPC nominal. Now when we say SPC nominal, that means that we have the subject, we have the predicator, and then we have the complement. Now, and then like I said the whole time I said that these complements here actually is a nominal group or a noun phrase. It's a noun phrase. That means that it's a nominal complement. So we have an example of it. But before we go there, let's just first of all write out our SP and then C. Okay. So we have example 1. We have Joshua became my very good friend. Joshua became my very good friend. So that's just it. So Joshua became my very good friend. Then we have in that example, we have the woman in the room is my mother. The woman in the room is my mother. We have the course is a difficult one. The course is a difficult one. We have our grandchildren are the visitors. Our grandchildren are the visitors. And then we have E. It includes this. Let's give it one more. F. Humility means submission. Now, so looking at all of these examples, and especially the last example, please trust me, don't take it literal. Don't take it as maybe we're actually saying that the meaning of humility actually means submission. No, according to this context, that's just it. So you get it? Now, so we have the first example, which is Joshua became my very good friend. As you could see, Joshua is your subject. Joshua is the subject rather. Became is the predicator, and then my very good friend is the complement intensive. Do we get it? The woman in the room is the subject of the second sentence. Is the predicator. My mother is the complement. The course is the subject of the third sentence. Is the predicator also. A difficult one is the complement. Our grandchildren is the subject of the first sentence. Are is the predicator. The visitors is the complement. 8 is the subject of the fifth sentence. Includes is the predicator, and this is your complement. And then humility is the subject of the last sentence. Means is your predicator, and then submission is your complement. Do we understand that? Now back to all of this again. Now if you look at all of the things we have as complements, now like I told you at the beginning of this class, I told you that the complement for pattern 4 is a nominal phrase or a noun phrase. And then I told you that it's a complement intensive. Now, what do you mean by a complement intensive? Now, that is a complement that actually refers back to an earlier mentioned item in the sentence. Yes, an earlier mentioned item in the sentence. So it's a grammatical element that maintains an intensive relationship with either the subject or the object in a sentence. A grammatical element that maintains an intensive relationship with either the subject or the object in a sentence. Do we get it? So that is that it's as an item in the sentence that has been mentioned before that it is referring to. For instance, when we say Joshua became my very good friend, the question I should ask you is that in that sentence, who is my very good friend? Joshua. Right? So my very good friend, which is your complement intensive, refers back to somebody who is what? Joshua. And then they have the same relationship, like they maintain an intensive relationship. Like I could substitute Joshua for my very good friend. I have to say Joshua is my very good friend. My very good friend is Joshua. Do we get it? The woman in the room is my mother. So who is my mother? The woman in the room. The cause is a difficult one. What is the cause, or what's the nature of the cause? We would say it is what? A difficult one. Am I right? Or I would say what type of cause it is. Is it rather? It is what? A difficult one. Our grandchildren are the visitors. Who are the visitors? Our grandchildren, right? It includes this. What does it include? This, right? So that means that this is part of what makes it, right? Exactly. Now, humility means submission. So what is humility in this context? Submission. And what is submission? Humility. Do we understand that? Now, another thing is that we said that the complement intensive here is actually a noun phrase or a nominal group. Now, my very good friend is a noun phrase. My mother is a noun phrase. A difficult one is a noun phrase. The visitors is a noun phrase. This is a noun phrase. And submission is a noun phrase. Do we get it? Another thing you should note is that the predicator here is actually what we call a linking verb, also known as a copular verb, also known as an intensive verb, also known as an equative verb, whichever one you want to call it. All of these are names we call the predicator in pattern 4 or 5. It's a linking verb. Now, what do we mean by linking verb? That is, links the subject to its complement intensive. Do we get it? So that's why we call it a linking verb. So that's just the simple thing. The copular, intensive, equative, they are all different names we could call the linking verb. So that's all about that. And then before I actually go on now, let me just tell you this. Now, if you note here very well, you would see that for this pattern 4, I could say that the subject is equal to the complement. Am I right? And I could also say that the complement is equal to the subject. Sorry, the complement is equal to the subject. So whichever way, it's the same thing. The complement is equal to the subject, or the subject is equal to the complement. So whichever way I want to go, it's the same thing. Do you understand that? And then, like I said, it is complement intensive. Now, being a complement intensive, and if you note it very well, now, what is the item that it refers back to in this particular sentence? It refers back to the subject, am I right? So that means that we can call it the subject complement. So in summary, in your patterns 4 and 5, the complements there are subject complements. Do we understand that? Yes, the complement there are what? Subject complement. That is, they refer back to the subject. That's all. So let's go on to pattern 5 sentence. Now, pattern 5. Still SPC, but this time around it's SPC adjectival. So we have, we have your subject, your predicator still, and then your complement also. Okay, so SPC okay. Now the examination the examination seemed very difficult. Next example, Janet looks beautiful. Janet looks beautiful. Another one, I am angry. I am angry. Another one, it appears scary. It appears scary. Another one, the pot remained, sorry, mistake. The pot remained hot. So, looking at all of these sentences, you see that the examination is the subject of the first, Janet is the subject of the second, I is the subject of the third, it is the subject of the fourth, and the pot is the subject of the fifth sentence, respectively. Seemed predicator of the first, looks predicator of the second, am predicator of the third, appears predicator of the fourth, remained predicator of the fifth. Very difficult predicator and complement, intensive of the first, beautiful complement of the second, angry complement of the third, scary complement of the fourth, and then hot complement of the fifth sentence. Now, one other thing you should note, don't forget that we already said under pattern 4 that the complement is a complement intensive, that is a complement that refers back to an item mentioned earlier, and then this time around what item is being mentioned earlier is what your subject, so it is also a subject complement. So the difference between pattern 4 and 5 is just that while the complement intensive in your pattern 4 is a nominal group, the complement intensive in your pattern 5 is an adjectival group or phrase. Very difficult is an adjectival phrase. Beautiful is an adjective or a single word, which we could also actually call an adjectival phrase too. Angry, the same thing, an adjectival phrase. Scary, an adjectival phrase. Hot, an adjectival phrase. Don't forget that one of the things you note about adjectives is that actually this time around, an adjective usually, adjectives usually talk about the item, or they usually describe nominal items. Right? So the examination seemed very difficult. So very difficult is describing the feature of the examination this time around. Janet looks beautiful. Beautiful is telling us about a feature or a characteristic rather of Janet. Do we get it? So that's it. It tells us an attribute of Janet. Angry tells us my present attribute or state. It appears scary. So scary tells us of the attribute of the subject it, and then the pot remained hot. Hot tells us of the quality or the attribute of the pot. Do you get it? So the complement here is what an adjectival group. It's as simple as that. And then unlike the first one for SPC nominal, where we say that the subject is equals to the complement and the complement is equal to the subject, this time I would actually rather say that the complement has, the complement, the subject has the quality being described by the complement. So the subject actually has the quality of the complement. So that is, the complement strictly refers back to the subject. This time around, we can't actually say the subject is the complement or the complement is the subject, because this time around the complement is not a nominal item. So, and as since it's not a nominal item, it can't be found at the subject position. Do you get it? So we can only say that the complement intensive refers to the subject. Do you get it? So that's just it. So it's as simple as that. So that's pattern 5 for you. Let's go to pattern 6. Pattern 6, yeah, pattern 6. Now, before I go ahead to pattern 6, I hope you're flowing with everything we've done so far. Pattern 1, SP rather, pattern 2, SPO, pattern 3, SPOO, pattern 4, SPC nominal, and pattern 5, SPC adjectival. Do we understand? I believe you do. Can we go on? Of course we can. Now, so pattern 6, SPA, yeah. SPA, that is your subject, also your predicator, and what? Adverb. So now let's go again. S, P, and A. S, P, and A. So we have first example. She is in the room. She is in the room. Second example. The books are under the table. The books are under the table. Third example. We were at a party. We were at a party. Fourth example. Their mother is in pain. The mother is in pain. Now, looking at all of these examples, you would see that she is a subject in the first sentence, the books is a subject in the second sentence, we is a subject in the third sentence, their mother is the subject of the last sentence. Is predicate of the first, are predicate of the second, were predicate of the third, and then is predicate of the fourth. In the room, predicate of the adverbial or adjunct or adverb of the first, under the table, adverb of the second, at a party, adverb of the third, and then in pain, adverb of the fourth one. Do we get it? It's a simple start. Now, what are the things you should note about this pattern? Now, take note that the predicator here is mostly regarded as a locative verb. Mostly regarded as a locative verb. Now, what do I mean by locative verb? This is because most of the adverbs show the location of the subject. Yes, most of the adverbs that we have in this pattern, actually, they show the location of the subject. Do we get it? Yes. Now, also, take note, the adverb here is an obligatory adverb. It is obligatory. Don't forget that we told you that we could have an optional adverbial and obligatory adverbial. If you actually have learned from our class on sentence elements, you would have known that we have optional adverbials and we also have obligatory adverbials. So obligatory adverbials are those ones that are needed for the sentence to be complete. Like, without them, the sentences can hardly make complete meaning. So without your obligatory adverbial, the sentence would hardly make a complete meaning without them. Now, unlike the optional one, look at the optional one that we had in pattern 1. For instance, we said, this place stinks terribly. Now, without it terribly, wasn't the sentence complete in the first place? It was. We could say, this place stinks. And everyone actually understands it. But when you say she is, the next question I'm likely going to ask you is, she is what, or she is where? Am I right? Exactly. So it's either you're telling me that she is maybe a woman, which a woman would actually be your complement, referring back to the subject, then you are telling me where she is. Maybe she is in the room, which is needed for the sentence to have been complete in the first place. Do you get it? That's just it. So the books are under the table, telling you of the location of the books. Just like in the room is telling you of the location of she, we were at a party telling you our location. Do you get it? So that's just it. Now, another thing, don't forget that however, when we talked about the fact that the obligatory adverb actually will tell you the location of the predicate or of the subject, rather, it is not in all cases. Trust me, it is not in all cases. Sometimes the obligatory adverb may be a part of a phrasal verb, or may be idiomatic in nature. Yeah, as you've seen in the last example, it may actually be just a part of a phrasal verb, or it may be idiomatic. So, in pain here is not telling us of the location she is, am I right? But rather telling us of maybe a particular condition. So it's more like a phrasal verb, to be in pain, right? Which is telling you to be at a particular situation that you're not comfortable with, like you're going through pains. Do you get it? You're feeling uncomfortable all over your body. Do we get it? So that's just what we mean by in pain there. And then Don't forget, all of the patterns, like I said earlier, can take optional adverbials. All of the patterns, all of them. Do you get it? So that's just it. So let's go to the next pattern, which is your pattern. Pattern 7. So